What if a poison could raise the dead? It is a question that hangs in the humid air of Haiti, a whisper carried on the same winds that rustle the palm leaves and stir the dust on the unpaved roads. This is not a question for horror films or lurid novels, but one rooted in the deep, complex soil of Haitian culture. Imagine a moonless night where the only light comes from a flickering bonfire at the center of a clearing. The air is thick with the scent of burning herbs, sweet rum, and the earth itself. The rhythmic, hypnotic beat of rada drums pulses through the darkness, a heartbeat for the community gathered, their faces illuminated by the dancing flames. This is the world of voodoo, a world often misunderstood, a world of spirits and ancestors. The drumming grows faster, more insistent. A priest, a hungan or a priestess, a mambo, begins to chant in a language that feels ancient, a mixture of French, African dialects and spiritual tongues. Their body sways at first gently, then with a convulsive energy that seems almost inhuman. It is said that a spirit, has entered them, borrowing their body to speak to the living. The crowd watches, their expressions a mixture of awe, reverence and quiet anticipation. They have come seeking guidance, healing, or perhaps just a connection to something larger than themselves. It is here in the heart of these sacred ceremonies that the stories of zombies are born. Not the flesh-eating monsters of Hollywood, but something far more subtle, and in many ways more unsettling. The stories speak of individuals who were declared dead, buried, and then seen again, walking without will, without memory, their souls seemingly stolen from them. But how could such a thing be possible? The answer, according to the whispers, lies not in supernatural magic alone, but in a potent, carefully guarded secret, a poison, a powder. A substance so powerful it could simulate death, plunging a person into a state so deep that even a doctor would be fooled. In the complex spiritual hierarchy of Haitian voodoo, not all practitioners are the same. While the hungan and mambo serve the community, working with the benevolent LWA for healing and guidance, there exists another figure who walks a different path. This is the bokor, a sorcerer who is said to serve the spirits with both hands, light and shadow. It is the bokor who is believed to hold the formula for the infamous zombie powder, a substance known in Haitian Creole as coup de poudre. This is not a tool for the common priest, it is a weapon, a source of immense power and fear. The creation of this powder is a closely guarded secret, passed down through generations of bokors. The recipe is said to be a complex and dangerous concoction of various ingredients, natural and symbolic. The primary active ingredient is believed to be a powerful neurotoxin, most likely tetrodotoxin, which is found in certain species of pufferfish native to the Caribbean waters. This toxin has the terrifying ability to induce a state of paralysis that perfectly mimics death. But the powder is more than just a poison. There might be dried toads, ground lizards, tarantulas, and various potent plants, each chosen for its specific properties. Most disturbingly, the formula is said to require something from a human grave, often a piece of bone from a recently deceased child. This element is not for chemical effect, but for spiritual power, a way to bind the victim's soul, their bon ange or little good angel, which in voodoo belief is the seat of their personality and memory. The story of the zombie powder might sound like pure folklore, a haunting tale from a faraway land. In the 1980s, Canadian ethnobotanist Wade Davis traveled to Haiti determined to uncover the truth. His research in the serpent and the rainbow brought international attention, suggesting a scientific basis. Davis wasn't hunting monsters, he was hunting a poison. He argued these were accounts of a real, sophisticated criminal punishment delivered through folk pharmacology. Davis gained the trust of bokors and obtained samples of zombie powder. Lab analysis found several potent substances, notably tetrodotoxin. This was the breakthrough. Tetrodotoxin, a powerful neurotoxin that blocks sodium channels in nerve cells. That blockade causes motor paralysis and respiratory arrest. A carefully dosed, non-lethal amount can induce suspended animation. The process involved two distinct steps. First, the coup de poudre, the poison inducing the death-like state. After burial, the bokor returned at night, exhumed the body and administered an antidote. To truly understand the origins of the zombie and the Bocors powder, one must look back to the brutal history of colonial Haiti, then known as Saint-Domingue. In the 18th century, it was France's most profitable colony, the Pearl of the Antilles, a land whose immense wealth was built on the backs of hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans. The conditions on the sugar and coffee plantations were beyond harsh. They were a living hell. The average lifespan of an enslaved person upon arrival was tragically short. Death was a constant companion. In this crucible of unimaginable cruelty, voodoo became more than a religion. It became a lifeline. It was a secret, shared system of belief that connected the enslaved back to their African roots, to their ancestors, to their sense of identity. Voodoo ceremonies, held in secret deep in the woods, were acts of profound spiritual and political resistance. They were spaces where a stolen people could reclaim their humanity. Within this context of resistance, the concept of the zombie took on a powerful symbolic meaning. For the enslaved, life in Saint-Domingue was already a form of living death. The zombie, a soulless body forced to toil endlessly, was a terrifyingly accurate metaphor for their own existence. The ultimate fear was not death itself. For many, death was seen as a release, a return to the ancestral homeland of Africa, Guinea. The ultimate fear was becoming a zombie, to be trapped in Haiti even after death, denied the final piece of returning home. As Haiti navigated the turbulent centuries following its hard-won independence, the role of the Bocor and the fear of zombification evolved. In the political instability of the 20th century, particularly under the brutal Duvalier dictatorship, voodoo was weaponized. François Papadoc Duvalier styled himself after Baron Samedi, the voodoo Louai of the dead, using deep-seated beliefs to cultivate an aura of supernatural power and fear. His secret police, the Tonton Macoute, were widely believed to be sorcerers. In contemporary Haiti, grappling with extreme poverty, political instability and rising powerful criminal gangs, this dark legacy continues. The Bocor has not disappeared, but instead finds a new disturbing role in the urban underworld. Gang leaders align with Bocors, or claim to be Bocors to consolidate power. The threat of the coup de poudre remains a potent tool of intimidation. Criminal elements twist sacred voodoo symbols, creating a perversion of the faith. They weaponize fear of zombification not to enforce community norms, but to silence rivals, extort terrified citizens, and maintain territorial control. This exploitation casts a long, dark shadow over voodoo. A tragic irony, a belief that fueled the only successful slave revolt is now, in some cases, used as oppression by Haitians against Haitians. Despite the shadows cast by criminal exploitation and sensationalist portrayals, a powerful counter-movement is quietly gaining momentum across Haiti. Hangans, Mambos and cultural leaders working tirelessly to reclaim and purify voodoo. This is not a movement of grand pronouncements or political rallies, but one of small, dedicated actions. It is happening in humble peristyles, in community centers, and in the hearts of believers who refuse to let their heritage be defined by its darkest fringes. Their mission is to recenter voodoo on its primary purpose, healing, community. They emphasize that the genuine practice of voodoo is about balance, respect for nature, and connection with the spirits who offer guidance, protection, and wisdom. These leaders are actively teaching that voodoo is not about casting curses or creating zombies, but about serving the spirits and the community. They hold ceremonies that are open and welcoming, focusing on the beautiful, intricate rituals that celebrate life, honor the ancestors, and seek to bring harmony. This quiet revolution is also about cultural pride. They celebrate voodoo as a unique and vital part of Haiti's national identity, the very soul of the nation. They see it as the cultural bedrock that inspired their ancestors to fight for freedom, and that has given the Haitian people the resilience to endure centuries of hardship. At the heart of the voodoo reclamation movement is the practice of healing. In a country where access to modern healthcare is often limited, expensive, or non-existent, the voodoo temple frequently serves as a primary place of care. So we are left with the final lingering question. Is voodoo a curse or a cure? The answer, like Haiti itself, is not simple. It cannot be reduced to a single word. To the outside world, conditioned by sensationalist movies, it may seem a curse. For the gang leader using its symbols for intimidation, it is a weapon. In their hands, voodoo can become a means of control and harm. However, for millions of Haitians, voodoo is a cure. It is the mambo's healing bath that soothes a feverish child. It is the Hongan's counsel that mends a broken family. It is the vibrant, joyous ceremony that reaffirms community bonds. Perhaps the question is flawed. Perhaps voodoo is neither curse nor cure, but simply a power, an ancient spiritual energy that can be used for good or for ill. It reflects humanity itself, capable of healing and harm. The path it takes depends on the hands that wield it. The story of voodoo is not closed. It is a living conversation, a struggle between shadow and light. The answer lies not in judgment, but in continued, respectful understanding. What do you think? Have you encountered stories or beliefs in your own culture that blur the line between healing and harm? Share your thoughts below about these hidden practices. And don't forget to subscribe for more explorations into the world's most mysterious cultural traditions. The enduring soul is in sacred drums, healing herbs, the shared meal after ceremony, and the unwavering faith that helped a nation survive against all odds.